Hey everybody, this is Alma coming to you from Long Beach, California. Today is Saturday, August 15th of the year 2020, and this is my 32nd FlossTube here on my channel. So I want to welcome you all to Alma's Little Wonders. As ever, thank you to all of you returning viewers and subscribers. I still can't believe that so many people would choose to come back again and again to keep up with me and my craziness, but I do appreciate it very much. And I also want to welcome any new viewers that are still coming up. I keep getting people commenting that they found my FlossTube either through somebody else or like one of those suggestions that YouTube mentions. So I do want to welcome you all. I hope that you like what you see, you find a reason to stay and subscribe, and continue to follow me on my stitching journey of mine. I also wanted to address a little hiccup that I had with my last video. I don't know what happened. YouTube decided to just turn off the commenting. The comments function, I guess, on my last two videos, one in English and Spanish. I didn't realize it until like Monday, which made me really sad because I know that a lot of people do watch the FlossTubes on the weekends. So I knew that I missed out on possible interactions, and that's my favorite part. I'm still a little behind on comments, on replying to the comments, but I do want you to know that I read them. I do appreciate them, and they make me smile. Sometimes I'm trying to just reply on the spot, but I also know that might come off as weird. But again, I've fallen behind, so that's also my efforts to not fall behind. So I apologize if it seems weird. I always have my phone on me, not always, but most of the time I have my phone on me. If I see it, I get a comment, I'll just try to reply then and there. But yeah, I do want to appreciate those few that were able to comment afterwards. I got a few people commenting, congratulating me on the milestone. I'm still working my way to see about the ads, but hopefully everything will be settled within the next week or so. So having said that, I do have a lot to show you this week, which is interesting because last week it was a short video. It was like 20 minutes. I really didn't have that much to show. This week I'm making up for it because I worked on a ton of things. So let's get started. This is going to be in somewhat of an order. I just have a few here that I know that they weren't the first thing that I worked on, but they're on top of the pile. So one of the things I worked on this week is the Lakeside Needlecrafts mystery style that's designed by Maria Diaz. It's called Time to Stitch, and they did provide a cover picture for the second part, but I don't print that out. I just print out the pattern itself. And this is so I'll just go ahead and say, so this is a little it's a needle minder and a frogger, so it has a needle attached to it by Stitch and Button. So I keep it on me because I normally have this framed on my Doctor Who because it's about time. So Doctor Who, but this is the TARDIS, and then my TARDIS themed Graham Guard by Silver Moon Sewing. But it is out of the frame now, so I can show you the full thing. This was the first part that was released at the beginning of July, and then the second part was this little cog right here, and then tick-tock, and then you have the second clock, And then I think it does have like another cog either here or here. I don't remember which side. But yeah, I like it. It's just all the different sized ones are just really cool. But the clock face is going to be like golds and yellows, so you can see I have the yellow thread hanging there. It'll just be a gold face with obviously like fancy hands and some of the gold, the gold outlines, gold detailing on the wooden sides. So it was definitely a smaller part this month, which I was grateful for because the first part was huge. But I'm working on this once a week. I'm working on this on Tuesdays because time to stitch Tuesday. And since I know that, you know, each part won't come out for another month, I know that I have time. I have time to take my time with this and enjoy it and not feel too rushed. But we'll see. It also depends on the size of each section that comes out. And then the second sale that I'm participating in right now is a stitching book club sale. She's Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts on Etsy, but you can find her on Stitching Book Club here on Instagram. She does a book. I'm sure some of you may have heard of her. She's been doing like every 3 months, I want to say. She's been doing a book per quarter. She started with Pride and Prejudice, then she moved on to Three Musketeers, Secret Garden. I guess it's not a quarter because I have 3 so far. And now it's Frankenstein. And then she's going to end the year with A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. So I worked on that yesterday for Frankenstein Friday. And here, I'll put something behind it so that you're not, because I didn't realize it's not that much of a see-through fabric, but here we go. So this is the border. I'm doing this on a 14 count Ada, I think it's called Touch of Gray. Yeah, Touch of Gray. I got it off of 123 Stitch. And the DMC that I'm using is 4522. So I don't know if you can tell. I don't know if the lighting is going to be working on my favor. But the floss has greens and browns, and there's like a purple pink color in there, and like a really dark, it's like rust. It's like a rust color. So I'm in love. This is the first time, if you've been following me, then you know that this is the first time I've worked on variated floss. And I've been loving every stitch. I did have not trouble per se, but just because of me being me, I wanted everything to line up as well as possible. So I think the only place where I couldn't get it quite right was the corners, but that's also the point. Like, the point is also, it's patched up, it's not supposed to be perfect, but the corners, you can't even tell. You won't even be able to tell the corner. You can tell that it's not it's not a smooth transition, but again, that's the point. It's supposed to be patched up, not perfect, because it's the creature, it's Frankenstein's creature. But yeah, the next part for that particular style won't come out until the end of the month. I think she mentioned it was going to be the 29th. And that's when we're going to start reading the book. This time around, it was technically just like the sign up. So right now people can still sign up and join. But she also released that border because she did warn us that it was going to be a pretty stitch heavy design. So, which was why I also wanted to go for the larger count, because I've seen people that, you know, well, a little side note to that, she released the first part, the borders, but she never gave us a set fabric. She never gave us a list of materials, which is different from what she's done in the past. Obviously, people can go ahead and change them as they please, but this time around she said that we could choose our own fabric and choose our own floss depending on what the book means to us, how we interpret it. So that's why I went with the variated floss with the patched up look to it. I think it's gonna look well. I think it's gonna turn out really good. I've also decided, thanks and shout out to Zagia, Lady Wing Designs, I've decided to also work on just solid gray. Originally I wanted to go ahead and do the entire thing in the variated floss, but I was talking to Zakia and we just kind of once I explained that I felt like it was going to look too busy with the variated floss. We started looking at colors. Like, I knew I wanted a gray, so we just started looking at which colors might work best. So I think we decided on 535. Correct me if I'm wrong, if you're watching, Zakia. But yeah, that way it can kind of balance it out and it won't look too busy. So hopefully that'll look good. Now we're just kind of twiddling our thumbs until the next part comes out, which is a shame because I really enjoyed that stitch. I'm looking forward to keep working on it. But as ever, you know that I'm a huge fan of magical stitches and enchanted stitching, so I did work on the homework this week. The first thing that I worked on was magical stitches homework. We had to pick, they gave us 2 prompts. We needed to choose one. We could do both and get bonus points if we did both. So I went with the one prompt where we had to choose a whip that had something that was built out of stones or bricks. So I decided to pull out my Hogwarts castle piece, which I felt like I haven't worked on it in ages, but I'm pretty sure, like, I did work on it for full coverage bingo last month, but I still felt like it was a while. This is by the Stitching Girl on Etsy. It's no longer available on her shop, but you're more than welcome to look at her other things because she's got lots of cool patterns, and it's not much. It was 1,000 stitches, all in black. So I'm still working on this area right here. I've decided I wanted to go ahead and finish up the black in this pattern before moving on to any other color. Which, shout out to Kim of she's Spartan Stitcher on Instagram. Kim Hollenbach here on FlossTube. She has finished all the black in her Haid. She's doing Randall Spangler's Trick or Treat, and she finished all of it. So it's super cool because you can, even just with that one color, you can see the entire whip like take shape. You can see where everything's going to go, which is super cool. So I still have quite a bit of black left to go myself. But I do want to go ahead and finish that before moving on to anything else. So here's the entire piece, just to make it worth my time, because I could have just been like, it's just black, guys, it's nothing too exciting. But yeah, I'm still shooting for 80,000 stitches to be done by the end of the year. Hopefully that'll be a done deal. I want to finish it next year, so the entire piece is over 122,000 stitches. So if I get to 80,000 by the end of this year, I'll only have a little over 4,000 to go. Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens for the rest of the year. We'll see what happens next year. I don't know. So once I finish those 1,000 stitches, I am shooting for both prompts. The second prompt was we needed to work on something that had to do with things you use to carry said stones and bricks, because the whole purpose is they're building a house. So the first prompt is about materials, and then the second prompt is about things that they use to transport the materials. So it was like wheelbarrow, and I don't even remember what else. I went for the penalty stitches because I have nothing that has to do with transportation. So for the penalty stitches, you can choose your own whip. It doesn't matter what you work on. So I pulled out my Heaven and Earth Designs piece by Anna Dittman. This is June, and I'm also using this for a monthly Enchanted Stitching challenge, in which we needed to put 2,000 stitches on a prompt. So I did 1,000 stitches on it this last week, and this week so far I have done another 1,000 stitches. So I finished the Enchanted Stitching challenge, and now I just need to do another 500 this weekend so I can finish up the Magical Stitches penalty stitch option for this week's homework. It's all been done in like 3 colors. Honestly, I've been working on this yellow, and then this like really light green, and then this dark green over here. So it's been fun. And by that, not really. It's been easy. I like stitching on her. I like filling in everything else, but I think I will go ahead and add a second color for those last 500 stitches, or another second color, but a 4th color, so I can start filling in these random spots over here. But this right here is the edge of the rose petal, so that's exciting. But yeah, I'll go ahead and work on her again this week. I'll finish up the 500 stitches for this week's homework, and then I'll use her for a homework prompt next week, so that I can do, once I finish those 1,500 stitches, I'll still have an additional 500 stitches to go in order to meet my goal for the year, which is to reach 10,000 stitches. So those 500 stitches are going to go somewhere in some homework prompt this week, whether it be, if it fits, if not, it'll just be penalty stitch option. Worst case scenario, I use it for the ultimate stitching task that goes year round, in which there's one option where you work on it on 200 stitch increments. So I just use it on 2 of those and call it a day. Point being is I'm reaching that goal this week so that I can move on to something else, and I want to move on to July. I do want to stitch on her sister piece, July, because for her I think I decided on a page finish, which is the equivalent of 8,000 stitches. So once I finished the prompt for Enchanted Stitching challenge, I did want to go ahead and finish up a second prompt that I had worked on last week. I was using my Haku chart, and the prompt was to work on something that was close to a finish. You know, the prompt was inspired by Tiana's, because we're doing Princess and the Frog, we're doing Tiana's song, Almost There. So as the name implies, you have to pick on something where you're almost close to finish. So just because this one's so much half stitch, and I had already done so much, this was an easy choice. And you had to put in 8 hours worth of work. You didn't necessarily have to count your stitches, you just needed to do 8 hours. So I had done most of it last week, and the fabric, I'm not I'm not regretting my fabric decisions, but there are spots, like in this area for example. Go ahead and close up. This is all stitched, this is all half stitched, but it's also next to this really gray area for the dyed fabric. So it looks it kind of, the stitch there, it kind of like gets lost in there a little bit. So again, I'm not regretting my fabric decisions. I still think it looks amazing, and I'm very proud of how it's looking. But yeah, there's just like the one aspect. I mean, I can just say that it's supposed to be like a cloud, like a stormy stormy sky, and call it a day. But yeah, most of my stitching did go towards this entire this area in the background. So I'm done with the half stitches here on this side. I don't know if you can tell, there's like this little blue-green strip. The rest is going to be, and like I already started on the white, the rest is going to be Haku's body. I think there's like another spot, there's like a, because it curls, so I think at one point there is going to be like a circle of half-stitched area as well. But he's very close to a finish. I am gonna keep working on him for the rest of the month because it is my focus piece for full coverage fanatics around the world challenge. We're doing Japan this month, so Haku's from a movie called Spirited Away, which is by Ghibli Studios, which is a Japanese film. So it was perfect for this month. I'm also working along the Lord of the Rings challenge group, the Stitchy Quest to destroy the One Ring. So one of the prompts we had this week was we needed to work on something that it was either color red, or it had something to do with a book, or a whip that was related to a book. So I thought, well, hey, it's a Lord of the Rings inspired piece or challenge group, so I went ahead and I used Bilbo for that. I'm also using this piece, or it's called Bilbo's Home. I just call it my Bilbo piece, but it's really Bilbo's Home by Mandarin's Designs. And I'm also using this for one of the ultimate stitching challenges in Magical Stitches that go year-round. So again, trying to double dip where I can. And I actually did quite a bit on this one. I am at 11,900 stitches, and for the purposes of counting stitches, I mean, Pattern Keeper counts a symbol as a stitch. So when I say I have 11,900 stitches, I say I am counting half stitches as just a full stitch, because it's a symbol. It just counts symbols. So this is what I've done so far. I think that homework prompt was 500 stitches. So I did, and then I ended up using it, like I did 2 500 stitch increments for the ultimate stitching challenge. So I finished the sky up here. This was all half stitched. So again, I think it was like 800. It was 800 half stitches, but it counted as 400, so I needed to do an additional 100 to complete the ultimate stitching task. And then the other 500 stitches were done in this area right here for the homework. So yeah, I've officially reached the halfway point, 50%. I think I'm like 50.4 something percent. But yeah, I'm at the halfway point. This was my new year, new start piece, and I wanted to try to shoot for a finish. I was like, if I'm gonna start it in the new year, I would like to finish it before the next New Year's. So at 50%, it doesn't, and again, being halfway through with August, it may not sound like it's going to happen, but this entire second half, go ahead and pull up the finished product. This entire, it's not a half per se, but all this floor right here is half stitched. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's half stitched. So that's gonna go by super quick. So, and again, especially if I'm doing it for homeworks where half stitches only count as half and I have to do twice as much, I think it will happen. I will go ahead and you know, still make efforts to get this finished before the end of the year. I love those colors. It looks so much more vibrant. Like I don't know. I think it's because I usually work over in my computer room, and the lighting is not that good in there. But then I take it out here, and it's like, oh, look at all those bright colors. I love this. And I do have another one of her designs. I have one that's based on The Little Prince, the French book, the French children's book, The Little Prince. So I do want to start that before the end of this year, so I can have it for next year. But more on that later. Plans later. Once I did that task, I did go back to Enchanted Stitching Challenge for this week. One of the prompts was we needed to state which animal we would like to be transformed to, since Tiana is transformed into a frog, and then we needed to stitch on something that had that animal. So I pulled out my 3 Things sampler. It's a Moira Blackburn sampler. I started this in honor of Laurel's birthday style. We had a little birthday style when she had her birthday, which was a few days after mine. We were supposed to work on something that we related to there being a joy in the journey. So that was the theme. Joy in the journey, something that just brought you joy as you stitched it. And I saw this sampler on her FlossTube, so I thought I have to start it for her birthday. It's really hard to see because some of the motifs are really tiny, but there is there's some birds in there, and I've got like, there we go. Oh yeah, there's some birds. So just that was the animal that I chose. Choose and chose, right? So choice, apparently that's how you get that. I chose birds because oh sorry, I got distracted because I found I didn't realize until I saw it up close on camera. I had a little bit of dirt under my fingernails and I had to get it out. I'm sorry, I got it off now. But I went ahead and chose that prompt, chose that bird for that prompt, because I realized I hadn't really worked on it for a long time. Like I started it back in July when it was her birthday, and then I really didn't work on it. This is what I have so far. I haven't finished with the prompt. I think I put in 30 minutes of the 2 hours that you're supposed to give for the highest amount of points. I think the last time you saw this, I had only started on this little stem, and then the border was done. Not the border, not the entire thing, but you know, this section. So so far I've just done this little area right here. It's a really relaxing stitch, especially because like with samplers, you know, a lot of samplers have a lot of symmetry. So for this one, I completed this side, and I know that the other side is just the mirror image of the side that I already finished. So I think what I'm going to do is for the sake of not moving the frame around too much, I'm gonna go ahead and finish off, because there's like little flowers around the border down here, and then there's a big flower over here as well. I think I'll go ahead and finish that and then start on this. The alphabet starts down here, so I just want to finish everything that's on this little section before moving on to the next. So I think that's how I'm gonna work this. And again, it's super easy. Well, not easy, but it's relaxing. I'm trying to work on this on Saturdays for Sampler Saturday. Because I think that's going to be the only way that I could work on this. Unless, again, like if it fits a prompt, I'll go ahead and use it for that for sure. But otherwise, it's just kind of do it however I can. And then I also have, I'm trying to look for the image, the product image. I don't know where it went to. I know I had it because I just filmed my video in Spanish. But it is something that I used for Enchanted Stitching, Enchanted Stitching challenge, where we had to pick a whip where it was, the prompt was not for my own benefit, so it had to be something that was going to be given away, either as a present or a small for retreats, if there's still retreats going on. And I picked my Rick and Morty piece because it's going to be a present. So again, I'm not quite sure where the finished image went to. Oh, I found it. I got it. Here we go. So this is what it's going to look like. It's by Oh My Stitches shop, and she has a ton of these designs where it's like a silhouette of sorts for the outline, and then within the outline you have a scene from whatever TV show or movie you're stitching up. So this is what I've done so far. I used this for that prompt, and then I also used it for one of the Lord of the Rings quests. I went for the penalty stitch option for that one. So when I first started it, I put in like 200 stitches, and that's it. And then this month I am making it a focus because the recipient's birthday is coming up in early September. So I'm hoping I can get it done, but it's going to take a lot. I don't even know if we're gonna see him for his birthday. We might not, in which case I can ease up a little bit. But as far as I know, we might. I don't know. Again, COVID is just, everything's up in the air because of COVID. Point being is I have 1,500 stitches done on this, so those last 1,200 or 1,400, I guess, I don't know. No, 1,300. Math. I did like this week for various prompts, because I am using it for an ultimate stitching task as well. So yeah, you can see the outline. This is Rick and this is Morty, and they're both running away from trouble that they probably caused themselves. But yeah, that was all the challenge or prompt related stitching I did this week. Again, I try to fit everything in something, like some prompt or other, because I do participate in quite a few things. Yesterday was World Cross Stitch Day, and yeah, I think it is, because I know I saw some hashtags that said national, but I'm pretty sure it was World Cross Stitch Day. And it was just really nice. It was a lot of celebrations, both on Instagram, Facebook, and FlossTube as well. Yanni from Yanni Stitcher posted a stitch with me in order, you know, to commemorate the World Cross Stitch Day. I wanted to say holiday. It should be a holiday, right? But I commemorated it the only way that I know how to commemorate stuff, which is a new start. I had this pattern from a while ago. This is another chart by Heaven and Earth Designs, artwork by Miniar. What was even that? Marianne Broom. This is mini mauve irises. And again, I had this pattern for a while. I really like the purples on this because I'm pretty sure she's the one that also has like the blue ones and the purple ones, but I just really like the soft colors on these. And I was only able to, I had thread like stuck on my ring. I was only able to get a start on it. I got distracted with other webs, like particularly Rick and Morty, because again, that needs to happen. So I took a picture. I did it for the gram, and then I meant to get back to it, but I didn't. So that's my really tiny start. Yeah, this is a scrap piece of fabric from when I started the Eternal Promise. I had to order a full yard for it, but I didn't use the entire yard, so I still have a good well, it's not good, it's like 10 inches by whatever length it's supposed to be. I think it's 36 inches, I'm not sure, but it's good for, I think I'm gonna be able to do another story keep, like one of Hate's story keeps on it, because those are usually much thinner. But yeah, I'm happy to be able to start it. I tried starting it earlier this year and it just didn't take, but I decided to go ahead and go for it this time around. So yeah, that's it for my stitching. I did want to give a few shout outs to some FlossTubers that I've been watching this week. The first one is, she's been around for a while, she's not particularly new. Her name's Kate, and she is Madam Ice here on FlossTube and Instagram. I'll go ahead and link both accounts below. She has a little bit of everything. She works on several different kinds of projects, but if you liked my Peter Pan piece, the Thomas Kincaid kit, she's working on the Beauty and the Beast. She's working on the full-sized Beauty and the Beast pattern, and it's coming out really nice. I think she has maybe like a quarter done, which is pretty much the sky, but yeah, she's working on that. She's also working on the Frankenstein style as well, and it's tiny. I think she said it was like 40 count something, 36 count something, and she's doing 1/1, so it's tiny. And she has, you know, obviously she has other, I think she does have another full coverage thing going. So yeah, I definitely recommend her. Go check her out. Again, she has a couple of projects that are similar to what I have. I also wanted to let you guys know that we have at least 2 new gentlemen that have joined our FlossTube community. The first one is Noah from Noah Stitches. He's part of the Virtual Stitchers gang, and he's also friends with the gentleman from Married with Stitches. He does a lot of really nice work. He also finishes his products, like not just frames them. And then he just has this one video, so he is new. He just uploaded his first video, and he does show some of his finishes on there. He was working on he's working on Pandemic, the Long Dog Pandemic. He's working on a 2x2 cross stitch, or 2x2 stitch art piece. and he has a lot of variety. He has a lot of different work. I do recommend him as well. It's a longer video, but it's, you know, it's an introduction and web parade, so those generally are longer. So I do recommend him. And the other gentleman that just joined is Philip. His channel is Philip's Cross Stitch Therapy is his FlossTube channel. I don't know if he's on Instagram. I do have to find that out. He uploaded an introduction video. He hasn't shown any whips yet. That he said that's going to be for the next video. This video was just, he just did the get to know your, or know your needle worker, I think is what the tag is called, where you just answer a bunch of interview questions about yourself. But he too is also from Virtual Stitchers, so I have seen some of the work he does, and it's fantastic. So if and when he does upload that whip parade, it's going to be nice. So I do recommend them. Check them out. Both, again, Instagram and Facebook are FlossTube. Yanni Stitcher as well. I know I've talked about her a little bit, but she did have the stitch with me yesterday to commemorate the World Cross Stitch Day. She does a ton of fancy ladies, and she does beautiful work. So again, check her out if you haven't done so already. And I know I keep name dropping a lot of people. Anyone I mention, it's you know, it's somebody I would recommend you watch. Spartan Stitcher, Kim Hollenbach, Zakia, Lady Wing Designs, and also Tess from Tess Stitches. I don't know if you can hear that. That's my sink. Okay. Yeah, so Tess from Tess Stitches, she's an Australian FlossTuber. She does beautiful work. She's working on the Peppermint Mystery Sal, the Blackwork Sal, and she's doing it like 4 times over, just because of the way that she wants to finish it. I think she said she wanted to make a biscornu or a cushion. I forget what the final product's going to be. But it's just one piece really, but she's doing that one piece like 4 times over. And she also is working on a Haid called Haystack, which is, it's beautiful, and it's like a 3 or 4 part piece. So she's done with part 1, she's currently working on part 2. Yeah, I'm trying to like think of who else I watched this week. Stambry Stitches, Becca, is also a good one. She too does amazing finishing work. I don't know how she does it. She'll go to Goodwill and buy things, and then, you know, does her magic, and they come out looking really good. And, you know, she'll finish her cross stitches with them. So she's amazing. I do recommend her as well. She's a joy to watch as well. But yeah, I think, I can just list off a ton of people. I think I will go ahead and leave it at that. I will go ahead and leave the floss tubes for everybody below. And yeah, if you do have any, I always leave the links for the patterns below. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I do want to get caught up on the commenting, because I know a lot of questions do come up on the comments. But if it's something that I think everybody could benefit from, then I do go ahead and mention it on my FlossTube. But again, any comments, I do like the interaction. I was really bummed out when I saw that the comments have been turned off for whatever reason, and I didn't realize it. But I do, as I do always appreciate the support and the the feedback. So So yeah, thank you very much as ever for coming back, and I hope that you have a good weekend. I hope you have a productive week, and as ever, I hope that you always find the time to make the thing or do the thing that makes you happy. Take care, guys. Till next time. Bye.